welcome. Today I have a mixed media art piece for you, and I start with a 3.5 by 5 inch piece of mixed media paper, and thinking this first ink pad needs to be refilled or get a new one, because I was really having problems getting it to spread or blend at all. So, and which is okay because I really ended up wanting a really dark look, so I didn't really even need to do this color at all. So you could totally skip the old paper. And then I go into vintage photo, and I'm just trying to layer up some dark browns. And next is walnut stain. And then scorched timber. And then I'm doing scorched timber again. Maybe the other one was, I wasn't really paying attention. I think I'm using both the oxide and the ink. And I'm mainly going around the edges because the center is going to be covered up. And then some black soot. And now I'm going to take a stencil and add some translucent texture paste. It's not translucent as it goes on, but it will dry to a very, very nice shine. And it'll be clear. I should have thought that through a little better. It's like, oh, what am I going to do with this stencil? They're great for tags, but when you get a little bit larger than a tag, you're in trouble. And I right away just dump that into a little, I have a little tub of water. So the stencil just goes right in there so that the texture paste won't stick on it. And now I've got to let that dry, and that's going to take a while. And I've picked out a few things that I'm going to collage on top. And this I think is from the Urban layers. And I've just scuff it up a little bit. And I've already distressed the edges some. And depends on what I have close at hand is what I use to distress it, but often I'll just use a side of a scissor and just kind of scrape it along. And now I am just taking the vintage photo so that the edges are dark and worn looking. And this is a piece of the collage strips, and I've already taken a punch and rounded the corners of it. But I'm going to add a little bit of the collage tissue paper, and this I believe is the typeset. And it's just, I had this scrap, and so I'm just going to use it just to kind of almost make it look like phone book numbers or something underneath it. And I want it to look worn and aged, but I'm only going to use it on top of the printed pattern that's underneath the photo. I cover the whole thing with a collage medium because I will be using a distressed crayon on top. And so now I'm just taking a piece of that, and I'll put collage medium on top of that as well to give it a nice seal. That's got to dry a bit before I can do the distress crayon. And this is a little ticket. It was just on a piece of scrapbook paper where I had a bunch of random stuff like that. And I just thought it fit my color scheme, so I thought I would add that ticket. And just added some distress ink to the sides of it, ends of it. And then I want another ticket, and this is from the Stampers Anonymous ticket booth collection. And I'm just going to stamp it on a scrap of, I think this is mixed media paper, but it doesn't really matter what it is. Just whatever you use to stamp your stamps on. And I just cut around my stamp. I'm just going to use some, I think I used Vintage Photo and a little scorched timber, which probably was a little too dark at the end. I probably shouldn't have used straight on scorched timber. Maybe mixing the two would have been better, because some of that tag ends up pretty dark. And that's coming along. It's not ready yet though. So now this piece is dry, and I have a little bit of kind of corally going to be coming into the final piece. And so I just take a tiny bit, I think it's called Abandoned Coral Distress Crayon, and I'm just adding it to his shirt, just to bring in a little more of that color. And give it a little bit of spatter of Vintage Photo just on the Collage typeset. And also darken up the edges. Okay, so I waited a bit and let it dry, and now I'm taking some frayed burlap and just sprayed on top and kind of just smooshing it into some of the spaces, just to give it a little bit of more visual interest. I don't want it on top of my texture paste though, so I just kind of make sure it's not sitting on that. And now I'm going to start gluing on my collage items. I start with that Urban Layers piece. It's pretty thick, so I want to make sure it's secure. And most of this, I think, I use the liquid glue just to keep it down good. The circle there is actually, I bought a bunch of vintage looking washi tape, and each roll was sealed with like a round of what was inside of it. And so when I took the sticker off for that, it was in pretty good shape, so I decided I'd use that for a collage piece. and then my 75-cent ticket. Now the piece from the collage strips. I'm getting a lot more use out of these collage strips than I really thought I would, but I really do like them. At first I wasn't a fan of having people I don't know on my art. I thought, why would I want to do that? And actually I think it's kind of cool now. Just took me a while to warm up to it. And the bird, I have some art magazines. Most of them are pretty old. And so sometimes I find something in there that I think would be great on adding to a piece of art. And that was the case with this bird. I just really liked it, sitting on a branch. So I fussy cut it out, which was a little bit of a job. But I'll do that while watching a movie or something. And then my ticket from Ticket Booth. Then I saw a video, I forget who it was, but they created this aged looking tape that I loved. And so I stole that idea and made some, and I love it. But this is it. I hope you enjoyed the process. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and have a great day.